Right, okay, let's keep going with growing your business. One of the things that I want to talk about was stress busting. Heads up if they find running your own business really stressful at times. Oh, there we go, some infinity. Anyone's lying. Everyone is lying if they say, no, it's always fantastic. Look, there is always problems. Don't forget that thing I spoke about earlier, the I can handle it, the 2-week rule. You know, in most cases, that most problems are solved within 2 weeks, baby. So don't let it, get you down, because you know that 2-week rule. So don't let your negativity stretch out past that hour. You're allowed a day maximum, because you're bringing everyone around you. It's infectious. I just wanted Jazz, you can just move these bad boys for me, could you? And maybe Paul, just the, it's like I feel like I've got population of microphones attacking me here. I can handle it. And also, you've got to face the problems. There's always going to be problems. Embrace them. It's great. What are you going to learn from them? These are the things I try and flip in my mind. We've got a problem. Whoa! What can we do to really take it forward? Now, the best way I do this is get out of environment. So, who's got Netflix? Got some homework for you, gang? If you got Netflix, has anyone watched Inside Bill's Brain? I forgot the name of the bleeding thing. Someone tell me what it's called. Thinking Like Bill, maybe it's called. Oh, what is it called? Do you remember what it's called? No, you don't remember, can you? But it's something like that. But anyway, so go on to Netflix, and it's another R&R. Once you've watched it, just watch it every sort of couple of years. Now, this bloke, what he does is he does this thing, and he's always done it, called Think Week. Think Week. Now, if you are one of the richest men in the world, and you would still be the richest man in the world if you haven't given away loads of your money, and you can find a whole week to just think and get out of your regular environment, then that's got to be a clue to success, isn't it, gang, right? So what he does is he goes to this log cabin and he just takes, like 2 bag-for-lifes full of books, and he climbs into his cabin and he's on his own, doesn't have technology, and he just reads and he just thinks. That is a clue. That is a secret of success. That is what these people are doing. They're getting themselves out of environment like what you're doing today. I mean, let me ask a quick question. How many of you thought, can I really afford 2 days out of the business? Hands up, come on. Can I really afford to keep out the business for 2 days? What am I going to miss out by doing that? But the smart people don't see it as they see it as a cost not to do it. See, it's a cost not to do it. They're really working out, they're getting out of the environment, being surrounded by different environments. You think better. Why do you, when you're on holiday or going for a walk in the woods, think about different things and improve your thinking? If you really have a barney with someone and you have a disagreement with them, I guarantee you'll get over it if you go for a walk and discuss it outside of your regular environment. You're going to have a disagreement, let's do it in the boardroom where we have all these negative meetings and positive meetings and where we always stay all the time and everything's to stay the same. You want different results. Get out of the environment. I promise you, it absolutely works. Sometimes I've been so confused about how to deal with a challenge. I take myself off for a walk, get out of the environment, and it's just like showers me with answers. So getting out of the environment. Who does that religiously? Come on, gang. Not enough. Look, 1, 2, 3, come on. Get out of the environment. It absolutely works. Now, this is, I literally love this man. I mean, if there's one of, somebody's go, oh, if you go out for dinner with anyone, who would it be? Well, one of mine would be Jim Rohn. I'm going to spell his name for you if you don't know how to look for it, because you can find his stuff on YouTube. You can look for it on YouTube. It's a little joke there for you. I'll let some of you work it out. You can go on YouTube and watch all of his old talks. We've actually downloaded one and we're going to play it for you to listen to when we come into after lunch. This is one of his corkers. You become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Kids are a product to this. You see kids, if they hang around with 4 drug dealers and they're not a drug dealer, there's a good chance they're going to become a drug dealer. You hang around with 4 people that work really hard, there's a good chance you're going to up your working game. You hang around with 4 entrepreneurs, hey, guess what? there's a good chance you're going to be an entrepreneur. You hang around with people that make it happen mindset, you're going to be a make it happen mindset person. I've never known anything more true in all my adult life. It's just brilliant. You become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Now, if you choose to spend most of your time with mood hoovers, gang, guess what you're going to become? Mood hoover. And unfortunately, some of those mood hoovers could be the people that you love most. Now, I'm just going to leave that with you. That could be the mother-in-law, that could be the father-in-law, could be mum and dad, could be aunts and uncles that tell you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, it's impossible, it's impossible. Start spending some time with me. You know, people that do spend time with me, they end up taking risks when they never wanted to take risks before. You know, I feel a bit guilty about it sometimes, but I just see it as normal. So think about that. Now, when we're stress busting in business, after speaking to so many entrepreneurs, this is usually the problem. The problem is usually cash flow. One of the best ways of solving cash flow is making sure you remember E plus M equals S. Because if you've got a management team in the business, it allows you to be thinking about on the business to raise cash, to fund problems, deal with problems, you know, whatever it is, or do marketing. Because if you've got loads of time to do marketing, which is a revenue income generating task, you have the faith to be able to do that because you know you've got really strong management in the business. So just to reiterate it one more time. The secret of success in business, E plus M equals S. Entrepreneurship plus management equals success. Right, let's get into our investorpreneur rules. So we spoke about the 3 levels of entrepreneurship: solopreneur, entrepreneur, investorpreneur. We want to talk about what the James Sinclair investorpreneur rules are, and hopefully you create your own by listening to mine. Number 1, can I scale the business? If you can't scale the business, and the optimum word here, gang, there's an optimum word here, it is this. It is this. I'm going to write it up for you. Easily. Can I scale the business easily? Quick way of working this out. If I gave you access to all the most talented people in the world, and I gave you access to all the funding that you need in the world to grow your business, if I gave you access to a dream scenario to grow your business, can you easily scale it? Let me give you an example. I give you £1 billion to grow a property portfolio, and I give you all the right talent to help you do it. You can easily scale that. Your wedding DJ business, if I give you £1 billion and all the talented people in the world, can you easily turn that into a £1 billion revenue plus business? If I give you all the tools to be able to do it. My opinion of it, because I was there, would be very difficult to do. If I gave you £1 billion and all the right talented people in the world to build a hotel chain, I think with all the money and all the right talent, that would be much easier to turn that into a profitable business that works without you in it. So that is just the way I think about it. I've got access to all the money. I've got access to all the talent. Can I easily scale it? And even with all those benefits to you, it's still difficult to scale, then in my opinion, it's not a scalable business. The amount of people that message me, I haven't actually had it recently because I'm not so day-to-day with the businesses. Oh, I'm a mum, I've got a cupcake business. Can we supply cupcakes to your business? I literally used to get 3 a day. It was so me too, so hard to scale that business because there's so many people want to make homemade cupcakes. Can't be scaled. Therefore, I don't want to get involved in it. Next thing, now this is either good or bad. Is the business capital intensive? Remember, these are the James Sinclair investorpreneur rules. This makes you think like an investorpreneur. You want to understand, is the business capital intensive? Now, some people, let's go back to my hotel chain situation. You build a hotel chain capital intensive business, it actually protects you because not a lot of people can do it. They can't get the 5, 10, 20 million quid to go and build a hotel, 100 million quid, whatever it is. So that actually protects you because it stops people getting into the market. That can be a really good thing. But if you're a startup and you're going for it and you're really like, is it really capital intensive? Is that going to hold me down? Other ways, it's capital intensive, but it's easy to finance. So if you're a specialist haulage firm, you're moving things that are unusual, you start building a profitable business. It's very easy to finance things that are on wheels, that have got equipment and stuff like that. So thinking about your capital intensivity. Is it good capital intensivity or negative capital intensivity? Because remember what we said earlier, you're going to be magnetized towards opportunities. Thinking about your capital intensivity should be one of your investorpreneur rules. Next thing, is there a high chance for high price tag profitable sales? This is beautiful, especially if you're an entrepreneur, investorpreneur. Disney are great at this. I love sort of looking at the Disney model here. These guys, it's fantastic. You look at this circle here represents Walt Disney's bank account, should he still be alive. And he's got Disney Plus over there, just trickling in some £7 each and every single month. Is it 10 quid now, whatever it is, trickling into the central bank account. That's lovely. A little bit of money from a lot of people a lot of the time. I'm a big fan of those types of businesses. One thing that we haven't got en masse as a business is high price tag profitable sales. But Disney have these things called Disney Cruise, and you go into their hotels and their Walt Disney things. Lots of families that can't even afford it do these big jaunts where they save up for 2 or 3 years, and they'll spend 20k for like granddad, grandmum, the whole family to go to Disney World. So they're getting this a little bit of money from a lot of people all the time, beautiful, but they're also getting these one-off high-price profitable sales where there's lots of cream in it. Now, I would argue that they get this on the back of their content. We're going to go into that later and why it's such a beautiful model. So you want to find businesses where there is a chance of these high-price profitable sales. So if you're an accountant, you're lovely because someone's going to exit their business and they could charge you 25, 30 grand for some rip-off consultancy work. I mean, John would never do that to me. Pocknells would never do that. But there are accountants that would charge you these high consultancy fees once off from every now and then. But what's lovely about their business is they also get nice, regular residual income. Why do I like property? Why do I like commercial property? If you like buy-to-lets, the reason you love it is because you know you're getting capital growth, but you also love the regular residual income. If you can find a business that has high-price profitable sales and regular income in unison, like Disney, I think you've cracked it. Because you're getting these big lumps of cash coming in. Like a franchise business, another great one. McDonald's, they sell a franchise. That's £2.5 million, please, for that store. Thank you very much. But you're also going to give us, 15% of your revenue every month. So we're getting a little bit of money. Well, that's quite a lot of money every single month from a lot of people, a lot of the time. And then every time we sell a franchise, we get £2.5 million. Plus we own all the property, we collect the rent as well. Hey! That's the McDonald's business model for you. There we go. Right, so you want to try and get both. And if it is a Me Too business, or a high barrier to entry business, try. I keep saying these things, that this is the one thing I really want you to pick up from this event. If you can make yourself as high a barrier to entry as possible, you're going to win the day. You're going to win the day. So try and not make yourself Me Too. The temptation to just do what everyone else is doing in the market means everyone else in the market can do it. So try and make yourself as high a barrier to entry as possible. It's why I like Ofsted regulated businesses. It puts people off. I said it earlier, I'm saying it again. How can you make your business higher barrier to entry to protect yourself for a market that's constantly innovating? You want to make sure there's margin in the business, especially if you're an SME business. Now, why do I want to talk about this? Lots of people say, oh, look what Aldi are up to. Look what Lidl are up to. Look what Tesco's are up to. Tesco's apparently make between 1.4 and 3% net profit per basket sale. Someone spends 100 quid, they're making 3 quid. But every day, lots of people are spending 100 quid. Like every day, billions of pounds. And they're collecting a little bit all the time. But then my heart breaks when I meet entrepreneurs. Like, look, I was speaking to someone recently that's got a haulage company. They're like making 1 and 2% net profits on tens and 20 millions of turnover. But Eddie Stobart are doing it, but they're helping themselves to like £1 billion worth of turnover or £2 billion worth of turnover. If you haven't got margin in it, in your business, and you haven't got the finance capabilities to cash flow you through scale, like Lidl, like a supermarket, like a a publicly listed company would have, then you're going to lose. Let me tell you another little story. One of my favourite podcasts, James Burt, who briefly worked with me, but we're very good friends. I just like taking the piss out of him on this. He's a podcast genius, and we're going to talk about podcasts tomorrow and how important I think they are to help grow your business if you're in the right sector. He told me about this little thing called Business Wars by Wondery. I mean, I am absolutely addicted to it. Has anyone checked out Business Wars? I mean, that's some homework for you. I mean, the production of this, Business Wars, it's like, do you remember the Archers? The Archers were on Radio 4. There's multiple actors, sound effects and everything, and they take you into these stories. I want the journey to keep on going because I'm so into these stories. And I was listening to Nintendo, that's what it is, Business Wars, Nintendo v Sony, I think, Nintendo v Sony. And they were talking about how these guys were getting market share, and so they would just sell at a loss. But they don't care. They don't care because billions of turnover, and they said, but when we sell the games in a couple of years' time, then we'll win. They call it, actually, Nintendo called it the Gillette business model. So the Gillette business model is to sell the razor at a loss, and then you make all the money on the razor blades. Everyone, know what I mean by that process? You can buy you think about this is electric toothbrushes are the same. Every time I buy a new head for my electric toothbrush, I'm like, what is going on here? I can buy a toothbrush for 50 quid, but I could buy 2 heads for 150 quid. I've been exaggerating slightly there, but every time I go in, but that is the business model. Sell the thing at a loss and make money down the end of the line. But what if you're an SME and you're starting out, or you're only on 10, 20, 30 million turnover? You can't do that. If you've got billions coming in, and by the way, Nintendo had a war chest of 3 billion for them to be able to go through this process of selling stuff at a loss to get market share. The problem is entrepreneurs see this stuff. Oh, can we swipe and deploy some of those ideas? Well, yes, if you've got a big enough bank account. But if you haven't, go for margin, please. Thank you. Right, okay, let's move on. How much capital, will people want to buy it? This is another big thing that's going to set you up to be successful. Will people want to buy? Now, I don't mean just consumers, although that is really important. I mean, when you want to sell the business, is there a hungry audience to buy what you're doing? Now, this is some big failures of mine. So we set up some big indoor play centres. No one wants to buy indoor leisure businesses should you want to exit. No one really wants to buy restaurants should you exit. Sorry, Victoria. Sorry. But if you build a 100-bedroom hotel that makes 4 million quid profit a year, or you build a chain of day nurseries, people want to buy it. Let me give you an example. If you build a restaurant that turns 3 million quid, that makes £500,000 a year profit, you might get 2, 3, 4 times multiple on that. If you build the exact same revenue day nursery business, you could get 8, 10, 12. I've actually seen 15 times multiple on that sector because venture capitalists love regulated businesses. So think about the thing that you're building, who's going to be the buyer of it? And you should be thinking about that even if you have zero intention of selling it. Why? Because it puts a great discipline on you to build a much better business. So even if you have no intention of selling it, you're building it to sell because it puts the right disciplines on you to build the best business. Okay, how much capital will I need to scale the business up? Always got to be thinking about this. Right, we're going to buy this bloody thing. Right, it's going to need $1 million for this, $1 million for that, or $500,000 for this, 200,000 for that. Think about this. Are you happy to put loads of capital into it? Lastly, is there a need for the business? Is there a bloody need for the business? I'm going to come on to this later, what I call the love, want, and need in business. But if you've got a business that has a need for it, it's always going to be easier. I'm going to do love, want, and need later, and it's a really powerful session. But if someone needs what you do, it's always going to be easier. I don't want to do love, want, and need now, but I want you to think about that, and we'll come into it in detail later. Would it be easy to find management? This is another big thing I've learned. Is it going to be easy to find management, or are you creating something where you need to start a brand new system process? That'd be all right. That's all right. We accept that. But if you're an insurance brokerage like InsureSec, who are my insurers over there, Tom Powell gives away, there he is, and his team over there, they do all my insurance, one of my sponsors, go and see them, they're lovely people. But if I wanted to start an insurance brokerage business, as long as I can write the check, I could probably employ all the best people in the market, but I've got to be able to write the check. So it can be easy to find the management. Same with day nurseries. I want to find the management. As long as I'm prepared to pay more in the market, people will come and work for me. When I started my entertainment business, oh my God, we had to create the processes of what we wanted to do. So there was a long time to find people to come in and work for us. It wasn't easy. And this word that I keep coming up with, easy. Try and do the things that are easier. What have you got? You've got 75 good summers in your life, 75 good Christmases. Don't you want to make things a bit easier where you can? Hopefully some of us are going to live till we have 100 Christmases and 100 summers. But the last 25 of those, you probably won't want to be doing things that are hard work. Right. So my big question to you is this. What stops you moving up the entrepreneur's pyramid? I've gone through some of my big things here. Is it this? Lack of cash flow. Is that stopping you moving up the entrepreneur's pyramid? How do we solve that? We get really good at getting and keeping customers. I'm going to teach you loads of stuff over the next couple of days. Lack of time. If you haven't got time, how do you solve it? You employ people. You get more time. Is it fear? But we understand that fear is just a lack of understanding that causes us not to take action. Do you know, I remember I'd done a big talk in this room about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know, whenever it was. I come in here and I can remember standing out in that lobby. No one knew who I was. I'm going to swear now, I was shit scared. And I thought, am I going to get the nerves when I do it? I just don't care anymore. It nothing bothers me. I'll stand up and 10,000 people get excited about it. I didn't lose any sleep last night. I just went to, usually back in the day, if I had a talk the next time, oh, God, I just can't sleep. I can't sleep. But because I've done it lots and lots of times, you just get better and better and the fear goes. Once you borrow £1 million and you've paid it back, I'll do it again. Once you personally guarantee 10 million quid and you've paid it all back, I'll borrow 20 million and I personally guarantee I'll do it again. And the fear goes. So just get on with it, gang. You only got one life, and why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? As long as you're smart, you work hard, you learn commercial awareness, and you put all into practice this stuff, you're going to sail through. This is a big thing that I think stops people climbing the entrepreneur's pyramid is lack of leverage. When people think about leverage, what do they think about? They think about property investment. They think about, oh, I've got leverage in here. But actually, the biggest leverage, the biggest winner chicken dinner is leverage of time. Leverage of time. That is how you sail through it. There's lots and lots of completely and utterly wealthy, stupendously wealthy people that have no assets and no property, but they make so much money because they're so good at leveraging their time. You can leverage systems and processes. Hey, that's what McDonald's do. We've created a system and process to make McDonald's burgers and chips. Burgers and chips is what the bloody thing is. And they're selling a system and a process that pretty much anyone could do, but could they? So they're leveraging a system and a process. You've got to be thinking about that lovely leverage word when you're building a business. Lack of team. If you haven't got team, you haven't got that E plus M equals S, you are not sailing through that entrepreneur's pyramid. Let's just quickly go back over them one more time, gang. What stops you going through up that entrepreneur's pyramid? Number one, lack of cash flow. Let's get really good at marketing and sales. We're going to do that. Lack of time, we're going to change that. We're going to change that mindset. We're going to employ a team. Fear, just get over yourself. Just get out the way. Be around the average of 5 people that have done it. So if your audience around you isn't good, change the audience, change your mindset, change the fear. Leverage. If you're not thinking about leveraging your life and your time, your systems, your process, leveraging your equity in your house. Someone just said to me, I've got £500,000 worth of equity in my house. They said to me in the coffee break, said, I'm not going to use that. That's my family home. Well, me, I'll be using it, but I'm sure that I'll be able to pay it back. But that's just being around different people makes you think differently. Lack of team. We're going to change that as well. All right, gang. So everyone enjoying themselves? Yeah, good. Give us a little wave. Give us a little wave. I just want to get some, I know a lot of people said they're cold. Let me tell you now, about 10 minutes, it's a bit cold. Well, you just move around in seats, because if I put the heating on, you're going to moan even more. So this is a bit of a weighing up thing, and we're going to have some coffee breaks, and maybe do some star jumps. We won't be doing that. Okay, so right, here we go. The 4 types of companies, gang. I love doing this. There's 4 types of companies that you have in business. Well, 4 companies that you should be running in unison, like riding a bike. Company number 1 is the company you are today. I want you to remember this little thing that I'm drawing up here. I'm just going to bring it into the middle so hopefully you can all see. 4 companies. I want you to draw this yourself as I'm going through it. Little X in there, okay? And then I just want you to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Draw the X, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Company number 1 is the company you are today. This is the company that you're running today. This has to pay the bills. This has to meet payroll. This has to do the VAT returns, pay the rent, look after the customers. Then the second company that you're running in your mind is the company that you really want to be. The company you want to be. Basically, gang, we're playing fantasy football here. So this is the company you are today, but we're thinking about, whilst running this company, this is the company that we really want to be. How do you able to do this? You use the rule of E plus M equals S. Company number 3 is a media company. Yeah, you've got to be running all of these in unison. We're going to give exact examples of why this works. Company number 3 is a media company. The job of the media company is to get well-qualified leads into the 2 companies at the top. These 2 companies at the top are your operating companies. They're called your operating companies. You're running both at the same time, but you're also running a media and marketing company that's pushing well-qualified leads into companies 1 and 2. The 4th company that most people don't do, the smart people do, is your property and investment company. This is your PropCo. Now, let's get this in action. Your job, when we've done the 4 ways to wealth earlier, is to get 50% of your profits from these 2 companies into your PropCo. So as you're making profits, you're dumping cash into your PropCo. Why? I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, obviously it's lovely, and we're building long-term wealth and all that, but we're talking about the company here. This here is your media company. For me, for this business, YouTube, podcasts, writing books. They're forms of media that's getting people in this room. I'm going to tell you about this later on. We've done no paid ads to fill this room. You guys have all come in here with no Facebook ads, no stupidly expensive direct mail. All of this room has been filled up on the back of content. You've watched my content, you've either read my books, listened to my podcast, and you've decided to come. That is my media company. I'm doing it in a small way. Walt Disney did it 60, 70 years ago when it wasn't possible. He'd make content, kids would watch the cartoons, and then their parents would take them to Disney World and buy the toys. You can now do this with just time investment. And it's great because it's leveraged. I make a YouTube video, it continues to work for me in 10 years' time. I make a podcast, that podcast I've done with Victoria, people can't believe it. James, why is he doing this? He's giving me an hour of his time for free. Why do I do it? Because 10,000 people are going to listen to that, and in 5 years' time, maybe 500,000 people have listened to it. I'm doing the work once, I get paid forever. I do the work once, it gets leveraged forever. That's why writing a book is so powerful. Do the work once, it gets used and used and used and used. You buy a property, you do the deal, you spend all your time on that deal, the rent comes in every single month. So this media company is providing all the leads into here by making content. These 2 companies siphon 50% into the PropCo. Over time, there'll need to be a period of innovation. Now, this is really important. Let's talk about a company that was very, very famous called Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook started out here just doing railway journeys back in the late 1800s, sorry. So doing railway journeys and trips to the seaside. But what they really wanted to be was bigger. They wanted to be an international tourism business. And they did that. What they did is they invested loads of their profits into property company. They were buying property, they were buying flats, offices, they owned all the shops, they were buying aeroplanes and doing all this stuff. They didn't do any of this, they just used paid for advertising. They should have been making YouTube documentaries, using influencers, making content. They didn't do any of that stuff. They didn't innovate, so they evaporated. But what they also did was they got rid of all of this stuff. They sold it off, leased all the planes, leased all the shops. So then when things went wrong, and usually on centenary plus businesses, they always do go wrong because, different change of management, things go wrong. If they owned all their planes, if they owned all their properties, I guarantee you they could have gone to the bank and said, look, we're in trouble here, but look, we've got 2 billion quid's worth of assets. Can you just lend us $500,000 or $500 million to see us through for the next 2 years while we renovate the company? This is the new management. This is the new structure. This is what we're going to do differently, etc., etc. And someone would have got behind them in that situation. But my view is they went because they didn't have this, and they didn't do this, and they didn't do this. They just stayed where they are today. And so that is really important. I'm sorry, I'm just putting more work on you. All the time, you're running these 4 companies in unison. The company you are today, you're thinking about and starting to put the plans in for the company you really want to be. You're running a media or marketing company that's putting all those well-qualified leads into those 2 operating companies. And company number 4, that property company is your safety net. When you need to innovate, you can re-leverage it and take the business to the next level. Or if there's an opportunity comes up, you use the property company to go and buy that other company. So we're running the 4 companies in unison. Any questions, gang? Any questions? Any questions? I'm going to get the microphones. No. Everyone's looking very serious at me. Very serious. It's either, come on, we've got a question here. Let Jazz, come over here. Let's get a question. If anyone wants any questions, now we're going to do a quick Q, because this is, we've gone through a lot of stuff here. And if anyone needs clarification, other people are probably thinking it in the room. You're looking very serious. And this man here, yeah.
Hiya.
No, it's on. Okay.
Yeah. Hi everyone, Cav from Leicester, run Discount Fabrics Limited.
What'd you do?
So I'm the MD of the company.
But what's your
business? So we sell fabric by the meter.
I know that. Yeah.
So there we go. My question was around the sequencing of those 4 businesses, because I'm just thinking about my own personal experience. Definitely number 1, that's kind of everyone's present tense. Number 4, got a property company, been investing in it over time. Number 2 is always kind of a thing we're kind of targeting, of looking at
Have you got it written down?
Yeah, I have got it written down.
First stage.
But for me, I now look at this board and I think, I've not really done much of number 3. And then it's thinking, when would have the optimum time, I guess, to do number 3? Because
now
you could...
You've got a fabric warehouse.
Say that again?
You've got a fabric warehouse,
yes.
Does it have loads of fabrics in it?
Yes.
That's your studio. That is your studio. And then you send free fabrics to influencers that make their own stuff, and they talk about you, and you get them into and you interview them. Yeah. And you force yourself, you're going to be naff for the first 6 months. You force yourself to make content around the fabric. This is a new fabric we've got, this is a new fabric. Just start on Facebook Lives, then get all the hobbyists on YouTube that love haberdashery. I don't really know much about the, this is great. This is such great value. And you build up an audience. You get 10,000 people that love that stuff, that regularly watch you. You will turn that into some serious cash for your business. Let me ask you another question. Do you pay for Google ads or Facebook ads?
Yeah, we do.
How much do you spend a year?
So last year it was around 25,000. This year we're about halfway through the year. We're about 20K already. So
you do 40 grand this year.
Yeah.
Can't you just find 15 minutes a day to make some video content?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, it's a rhetorical question. And I think you will get a much loyal customer,
as a result.
And, and they'll keep coming back to you. And that's great. Your regular customers, you will put them front of mind to come back and work for you. Yeah, we all know this stuff works. It's just, it drives me insane. Like, it's just 10, 15 minutes a day. I'm doing 2 podcasts a week. I'm doing videos every week. I find the time to write a book. There is time. And what's great, if you get it on YouTube, and there will be an audience for that stuff, and we're talking about it tomorrow, is that video will keep on working for you. Yeah. All right. Give him a round of applause. That's good. Does anyone else want to any questions on here? Who are you pointing to, Paul? Oh, just confusing me. Funny way to hand in your notice. I'm only joking. Okay. Right, anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Right, okay, that's the 4 companies. Anyone? Oh, yeah, we got one more over there, yeah. Just quick show of hands. Is it helpful, if that's helpful, to use that process in your business? Okay, that's good, yeah, most people, that's good. Okay, right, where are we going over there? Hello, what's your name, love?
Katie.
Hello, Katie.
So my quick question is, you've got company 1, which we're all in it now.
Yep.
Working the hours,
Yep.
paying the bills.
Yep.
We have a plan for company 2 that we're working on it.
Yep.
But if you're working, let's say 80, 90 hours on company 1,
Yep.
is there a percentage share? Should you go like, well, I'm going to give many hours a day to company 2, I'm going to give... In your experience...
Well, my experience is use the processes that we spoke about earlier, climbing up that entrepreneur's pyramid. Have you got E plus M equals S in place? Are you entrepreneur and manager in your business?
In 2 of our companies, we've got the E and M working well. In one of them, we're just a new startup, So
with whichever company you're talking about, if you've got really good management in place that are running the day-to-day, then you work full-time on company 2. I promise you. Yeah, if you ask any of my team, from the very beginning, I've never cashed up, opened up, locked up any of our venues, even when I was 19, 20 years old. Now, I worked incredibly hard doing different things, but I've never done the day-to-day stuff from the very beginning. I forced myself. My job is to be growing the company, not operating the company. It's 2 very important roles. When they fuse together, you can't ever build company 2. Dive in and look at the operating. I do that all the time, to probably much of their annoyance. I get involved. Get out, Jim. They want me to F off, I'm sure. But, I do dive in. But I spend 80% of my time growing my business, which is, to me, company 2. And 20% I go into company 1. But it's also where my skill set is. Now, if your skill set is running the day-to-day, you need to find someone else that's working on company 2. If you say, well, I haven't got the cash flow to do that, you need to get really good at marketing to bring more cash in and build your margins so that you're able to do that. Because remember, we're building something to sell. And one of the most amazing things about a great business is it looks like an investment. And if you ask anyone that's buying companies, whether it's a VC, a pension fund, the number one thing they're looking at is the quality of the management in the business. So in a roundabout way, I hope I've answered your question. Get good management so that you're afforded more time to do higher value, income generating tasks that's going to grow the business. Does that make sense? You're wonderful. Okay, right. Any more before we crack on? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Just a quick question. Hands up if you came here on the back of our YouTube channel. That's what you got the stuff. It's amazing. Hands up if you came here on the back of our podcast. So YouTube definitely won. It's Chud's here. Do you see that? Yeah, well done, Sunshine. Look here, he's the man. Right, okay. Key metrics for a successful business. Now, I sort of touched on this earlier. Let's talk about the 3 KPI rule. Quickly go through it. Number 1, you're producing management accounts. Number 2, your labour to turnover ratio. Number 3, your average customer value. Let's quickly go over it in the wrong order. Average customer value. I want to just quickly go into it one more time. You've got average customer value, average transactional value, and average lifetime value. Now, if you know these 3 in your business, especially the last one, if you know your average lifetime value of your customer, you know how much you can spend to buy a customer. Ha! That's amazing. Now, what I love about day nurseries is if we say the average customer spends £1,000 with us per calendar month, but they're transacting with us 5 days a week. They are transacting with us, average transactional value 20 times a month. Now, why is that really important? Because I like talking about this thing called the rule of 4. If you can get people to transact with you very quickly in 4 successions, you've got them for life. I was talking about you with this, Victoria, on the podcast. Everyone's going to have to go and listen to the podcast we've done with Victoria. There's the problem with restaurants. Everyone goes, this is my favourite restaurant. I go there all the time. How many times do you go there, mate? I go there all the time. Seriously, how many times do you go there? Twice a year? It's not really your favourite restaurant then, is it? You're going there biannually. It's not your favourite restaurant. You just think it's your favourite restaurant. Think about supermarkets. How often do you go to your local convenience store? You know everything about the person that runs your local convenience store. How often do you go to your supermarket of choice? Every week. They're getting you to transact 4 times very quickly. That's why accountants keep their businesses, insurance. You're paying every month. You're doing stuff every month. Netflix, you're watching 4 episodes of a series straight away. You're hooked. You're paying them then. Your job is to get people to transact with your business 4 times very quickly. Why? Why? Because it makes them habitual to you. People don't just change their children's day nursery unless something seriously goes wrong. You don't put your kids into school and go, oh, actually, it's Thursday now, let's try the next school. You don't do that, do you? Now, we've moved house recently. It was one of our foundations for moving was, how close is it to our son's school? So this little 5-year-old's just turned up into our life. We're now making a big moving decision based on his school, because we're habitually used to going to that school. Also where I work. I go every day to Marsh Farm or every day to Rossi. I don't want it to be too far away because I've got my habits. We're Sainsbury's shoppers, gang. We go to Sainsbury's more than anywhere else. We just like Sainsbury's. We're used to it. It's our habits. So if you can get people to watch your YouTube videos in quick succession 4 times, listen to your podcasts in quick succession 4 times, transact with your business in quick succession 4 times, you're building a habit, and you're building something of serious value. That is why day nurseries are such great businesses for us, because they're transacting with us 20 times in their first month. So they're getting to know our staff. We've become a habit in their life. That's fabulous. It's good average customer value, but it gets better than that. On average, they're our customer for 4 years. So we know the lifetime value. So when we're going out into the market, we open a new day nursery, we often go out and say, come and have a 3 months childcare on us. You're giving us £1,000 for free? Wow. You get the second month free. You have to pay for the first month. We're not completely stupid. But they come in, and this is brilliant. Why do we do it? Because we know the lifetime value of that client is £48,000. 12 months times 4, £48,000. So we know what we can give away to buy a customer in theory. Does that make sense? Hands up if it makes sense. Good. Think about it. How can you get people to transact with you 4 times? Now, I was talking about this on a restaurant. You know, I told you about the 4 things. If you can get people to come into your restaurant 4 times within 28 days, they'll be coming literally all the time. You've got to come up with strategies and tactics of doing that. There's a great video on YouTube where this guy uses napkins. He's got the red napkin, the yellow napkin, the blue napkin. When people come in their first time, he gives them the red napkin. All of the staff know that that's their first time, so they put loads in and they say, do you want a free bottle of wine if you come back tomorrow? All right. And then they come in, they get the yellow napkin. They go, oh, yeah, there you get a free dessert now. Well, these people just keep on giving me stuff. But once they're in 4 times in quick succession, they're in. They love you. You're part of the family. You're going around there for Christmas dinner. Think about this. How can we get that 4 times in very quickly? And that's why understanding lifetime value, average transactional value, and average customer value is one of the fastest ways to build the profitability in your business. Remember, you're building a commercial profitable with the works without you in it. Now, we're coming on to love, want, and need now. 3 traits of the greatest businesses that I've come across, and I've really researched this. Probably someone's going to say, oh, I've got another one, James, but I don't think there is this. LWN. If you can get people to love what you do, you're onto a good thing. If you can get them to want what you do, you're onto a good thing. But if you can get them to need what you do, there's no stopping. Let me give you a little example. This has changed our life. This is Michael Chudlington's hand there with the new iPhone. He was off to buy it the second it came out. May need to make a YouTube video, not because he's vain with this, but if my iPhone breaks, I'm sorting it out today. I'm cancelling meetings. I need the thing. I don't mind admitting it. I love my iPhone. I want an iPhone. But I can't believe I'm saying, I need the bloody thing. I absolutely need it. There's another one of our examples of one of our businesses. This is our day nurseries. People love the school their children go to. They need childcare because they want to go to work to earn money. It's a love, want and need. Now, lots of my businesses and the companies that I run don't have that. Why do we like buy-to-let property in the UK? People love to live somewhere. They love to have a roof over their head. They want to live somewhere. Actually, they need to live somewhere. Why do supermarkets make so much money? People need food. They want food. I flipping love food. If you can find those three weaved into your business, you're onto a winner-winner. Now, the problem is, lots of businesses have just two of these. Let's just cross this out. I'll give you an example. So we've got a chain of leisure attractions. People love days out. They want days out. But, if money's tight, they don't need it, do they? I just have to admit that. We've got the Father Christmas experience. People love Father Christmas. They want to go and see Father Christmas, but they can't afford it. They don't need it. That plays a part in my mind. Now, in the pandemic, I saw the businesses that done very well. It was a classic example of love, want and needs. Farm shops that had never made money before started making money because people love food, they want food, they will do whatever they can to feed their family. I mean, people, if they can't feed their family, I think they would literally resort to crime. They would break into places to feed their family. They would, that. And they need it, to live. And I suppose part of my mind of why I invested into us going into Rossi is I was a little bit worried that we were going to have loads of these bloody lockdowns for the next 10 years and coronavirus would keep rearing its head. And I thought, well, if we're doing food manufacturing, because food manufacturing just roared through the pandemic, didn't get affected. It never gets affected because people need to eat. People need children's education. People need a house to live in. But if they can love it as well, like what Apple have done, it blows my mind. They have taken a computer and turned it into something that people love. That has anyone left their house and left their phone at home and then turned around and gone back to their phone? That is love, want and need working. So if you can find that in your business, love, want and need, you just sail through. You just sail through. Can someone just tell me what time lunch is? I don't want to... Anyone from my team? 12:30. Like 6 minutes time, yeah? Okay, brilliant. Okay, good. Oh my God, I can't believe I got through to the section without mucking it up. Right. Later on today, we're going to be doing a roundup of everything we learnt with a bit more added in. I call it the 14 P's. I'm actually going to write a book about this called The Perfect Business. Based on all this process of love, want and need, the 4 companies, all the things that we've made mistakes in and the things that have gone really well have allowed us to formulate this system for a perfect business. What are the traits of the perfect business? So I'm going to round up the end of the day on this. Now, I don't know how long we're going to go on for, guys, because if the funding panel stuff is valuable, then we could be here for a long time. I'm just putting it out there, but it's going to be good for your business. So it'll all be rounded up in the 14 Ps. Now, quick little exercise for you to do that enhances the learning. What I want you to do in the last 4 minutes before we go to lunch, what are the 3 things that you have picked up today, up to now, that you think you can swipe and deploy into your business? And then I am going to come round, me, with the microphone and ask some of you. I want you to come up with 3 things that you think that you can implement straight away to grow your business from the stuff that you've picked up today. Even if it's an R&R, it's refreshed and reminded you that you should be doing it, you're not doing it, you know you should, and you're going to put it into action. It could be brand new as well. And then I'm going to ask you, the rest of the room are going to hear, and hopefully you get to know each other and you can hold each other to account. Deej, let's have some music, please. There we go. You got 2 minutes, gang. 3 things that you've picked up so far today to grow your business. What are they? Discuss on your tables. Let's go. Okay, Deej, we're done on that music. Right then, gang. Just before we go into this, we're going to have lunch. We're giving you 90 minutes for lunch. That's because some of you are going to go off site. There's some really cool restaurants around here. But please come back in on time. So if it's 12:30 now, so 2 o'clock we're kicking back off, aren't we? Yeah, is that right? Yes, it is, yeah. 2 o'clock. It's funny, when you're on a microphone, you don't think about simple maths. So make sure you're back in here on time, because I don't want you to miss anything from this afternoon. So we're doing the funding panel this afternoon. We've got BBX coming up as well to talk about how to get more cash out of the dead parts of your business. So that's going to be a really interesting talk as well. Please go and talk to some of our sponsors. What's really cool about every one of these guys in the room, they have all transacted or interacted with me. There's not just people that have paid to be here. These people have all helped my businesses. Johnson Reed I've used. Matt I've used. Jody, who's just helped me with my latest book. Regency are my purchasing people. So if you're in and buying stuff for your business in catering, hospitality, electric, utilities, these guys go out into the market and see if they can save you money for free. Then people pay them a commission, but we've saved money with those guys, so please go and see the guys at Regency. Hello Genius is copy marketing, so if you want better emails that convert, go and see them. Johnson Reed, lease financing specialist. These are Pocknells, my accountants. Look at these. Smile, guys. Look at that. That's the 8th wonder of the world, accountants that smile. So they're my accountants that look after all of our business, including all our property stuff. John, who owns Pocknells, is an amazing guy. There's not many entrepreneurs, in my opinion, not many accountants that really get entrepreneurs. And what's really interesting about John, although he comes across really boring, he's actually really interesting. He's investing in businesses, he invests in properties, just bought a police station because he's got an ego. It doesn't look like it. And he's turning this police station into his offices for his business. But they get entrepreneurs. They get us weirdos. So if you really want to get a second opinion on your accountants, please go and check them guys out. BBX do some really cool stuff. Has anyone heard of BBX? Basically, they trade the parts of your business that might not sell. And it's not real money. I like to think of it like cryptocurrency. I'll talk about crypto, but these guys are really good at finding customers for you in a really creative way. But I'm not going to go into that because you're going to go into that after lunch, aren't you? I don't want to steal all your thunder. Now, these guys, Math Finance, I don't know all of these completely, but I do know one of their employees. Matt Stacey. He's not here. He's gone to Dubai. Can you believe it? He's gone to Dubai. But hand on heart, John was probably one of the best things that came out of my life last year in terms of someone coming into my power team. Much better than any other accountant that I've ever used. And we've got our own in-house accountants. But he's the top banana. He was like my 2021 find. I love that guy. But the guy that works for MAF is an ex-Barclays bank manager called Matt Stacey. And I wanted to do something, and Coots said no. And then he said, look, I know these guys at Investec, and they introduced me to Investec. That helped me raise £1 million for something that was quite creative. They're really, really amazing. They've got access to whole of market, and they think much more creatively. And you guys are owned by Begbie's Trainer now, aren't you? Which are the insolvency people, but it's nothing to do with insolvency. These people are the raising finance people. I am genuinely blown away by Matt Stacey, who works for them. I wish he was here today, but hopefully you will go back to them. I'm so thankful for his help. You know, he's like, I feel like he works for me. He rings me every morning. He goes, James, just an update on blah, 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 blah. So he's gone on holiday on Friday. He's given me a bullet point email of where we are. We've got 6 projects we're doing with them at the moment on refinances of some of our blocks of flats and stuff. I'm so impressed with them. So that's them. This is this ice cream company. Nothing to buy here. It's all free. There's free slush, free ice cream, free sweets. So if you want any of that throughout the day and you want to get diabetes, we are the people for you. We are the people for you. So Nigel's over there giving away free ice cream, free slush. And if those sweets that we manufacture as well now, if that's not enough sugar for you, that's where you top up. And then my team over here, the amazing team over here from all of our companies. There's so many different ones. So they're all sort of piled in. There's so many different companies, people's there. But if you've bought silver tickets, you get access to all the books. You see these sexy boxes by Neil Sweeney over there. They're going to be given to you tomorrow, plus a draft copy of our new book. So you get that tomorrow. And if you want to come on our next business coach tour, did anyone come on the business coach tour? It was a fantastic day. So we got a big coach, like a shearings coach, and we put like 48 business owners in the coach, and we just drove around my businesses, and I said how we acquired it, what's all the challenges, what's all the problems, and we made a great YouTube video out of it. But if you want to come on the next one, we're going to be doing one of them next year. We're going to go around some different businesses as well. If you want to go on the business coach tour day, get to meet other people, it's a whole day. We've bought a few other things as well, so we're going to add that in. So that's that. Oh, and also we've launched accelerator coaching as well. So if anyone wants a free 1-hour coaching session, literally free, with Neil, who we're doing a little JV with, we're going to do a mastermind, a JV thing. If you want it for free, go and see Neil, and he'll give you an application form. Right, 3 things that you picked up this morning. I'm just going to bully someone. So if someone puts up their hand, things that you can swipe and deploy straight away, let's have a look. Who am I going to go to? I'm going to go over to this lady. You got a sore arm, or you are putting it up? Right, okay. Here we go. What's your name, madam?
I'm Anne Ansell.
Go on then. What's your 3 things? Go.
The 3 things was making the media business separate, putting more effort into really nailing down my KPIs, and actually looking at doing what I really want to do rather than just what I am doing.
Yeah, cool. Now listen, that 4 companies there, I just want to give some clarity. I don't actually mean you go and set up 4 separate limited companies. It's just a philosophy, if you like, yeah? It's a philosophy. So no, you don't have to go and set up a media company called, ABC Media Limited. It's just a philosophy. I just want to make sure we get that over. Anyone else? Right, I'm going to come over here. I like this guy's glasses. I keep seeing them. It's like a Bunsen burner scientist look. So what was your 3 things?
So we've got down the media company, the average customer value, working that out, and the 50% of the income as well, investing into assets. Yep,
50-50 living. Good. Right. Well, because of time is not on a benefit of our side, we are going to stop now. We want to get in here as close to 2 o'clock as close as you can, gang, all right? Hope you had a good first session this morning. Everyone loved it, yeah? Thank you very much. See you at 2 o'clock. What time, gang? One more time. What time? 2 o'clock, yes.